Alrighty, and welcome to another episode of Sparring Sessions. I'm your host Dax. Co-host today, not Big Will. He's still unavailable, unfortunately, but returning the wonderful UFC Genie. Genie, how you
Yeah,
doing?
I'm pretty good. Um, I was in Niagara Falls all weekend
Mm,
gambling. So ups and downs, highs and lows. We're back though. UFC
Sounds like a
311
wonderful
wasn't
weekend.
pretty. It was not bad, but
Yeah, well, let's jump right into it.
yeah.
You see that ticker on the bottom, but overall thoughts from UFC 311. A lot of stuff happened, a lot of stuff didn't happen.
Hey, I was completely right on Islam Makhachev. I said round one sub. Saw it. Some people were going crazy. They're like, "Oh no, I could see the overhitting." It's like, guys, it's not hard. This is an easy fight to predict. I'm glad that
Yeah,
one went my way.
that one went your way. I was hard pressed to find anybody. There was one guy, mutual friend of ours, who picked not Moicano. Great fighter, not so great card picker. That guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, top of the card, Islam Makhachev, uh, round one submission, Darce choke over Nato Moicano. Looked a little not vulnerable. There was a slip, some called it. Some called it a knockdown. I think it was just a slip.
Yeah, I think it was a slip.
But as soon as they hit the mat, I mean, what did it take? 20 seconds? Uh,
That's when the autopilot kicked in and he
mm,
just kind of got things done, went to work.
yeah. I don't think there's much more to talk about here. We did a breaking news pod on Friday. We'll talk matchmaking in a little bit, but nothing really more to say about this fight, right?
Yeah, no, that was cut and dry, pretty much. How we thought it was going to play out. Armin Dana White confirmed back of the line for him.
Mhm.
He's getting the 5 rounder against Charles Oliveira probably.
I would like that. I also think they might make him fight Michael Chandler, but
Oh man, yeah.
we'll talk about that in a bit. Um, Co-main, you see the red behind me. Change the color. Georgian MMA. What a I guess it's been a year. Last February, Ilya took the title. Last
He
night,
can't keep
Marab
getting away with this, man. He
plus
cannot keep
two
getting away.
plus 250. That was one of my hits from last week. I know you picked Umar. What surprised you the most? Was it Marab or was it Umar?
It's just it keeps working. It's amazing that it still works time after time. Marab just fails takedowns for 5 rounds. He'll fail 20, land 5 takedowns, and he still somehow wins the fight dominantly. Like it's insane to me. But
Dominantly.
Umar, he's gonna be doing a lot of more cardio days out in Dagestan. I think they're gonna be putting him through the sweatshop. So
Oh yeah. Habib's not gonna let that slide, is he?
no, no, he was not happy.
He was not. Yeah, I picked Umar. I thought it kind of would look like that. I thought it'd be a little grimier. That was for the most part, that was kind of a clean win from Rob. Not a
Yeah,
ton
like
of
it was.
controversy.
People are saying it was close, but it wasn't really that close, right? Like you got Marab emoting on you, the fight's over.
Yeah.
It's a tough world we're in.
Yeah, you either got to finish him or win the first three because he's coming strong.
Yeah, no
Any
stop.
credence to Umar said in the post fight, and then that photo came out that he broke
Oh,
his
his broken
hand.
hand and all. Yeah, I guess so. I swear they're always injured when they lose.
Yeah,
They're the most humble people, but then they lose, and it's like, oh, but I thought I won, and my hand was broken, and
yeah,
all this and all that. It's like just
yeah.
I guess if they're humble, they can handle a loss, right?
Yeah, and I mean on the other side too, Marab, the photos came out early in the week of his shin.
Yeah, what
I
was
don't even
going
know what
on
you
with his
call it.
leg?
I think it was a cut that kind of just got infected and never healed right. He talked about it a bit in the post fight, but Marab's no doctor. I'd like to. I'm not sure the technical term for whatever it is. Whatever it was, it looked gross.
Yeah,
And it was in the pre-fight. There was some speculation beforehand. and he battled through. I mean, what toughness, what grit from that guy. Uh,
Yeah,
unlike
but
unlike my Detroit
I might have to
Lions.
start giving Marov some credit, but it's tough for me. It's tough
Yeah,
for me to watch him fail to like he gets it done. He gets the
it's
job done. You can always count Marab by decision. That
mm,
somehow was still plus money.
I don't
So
know. I won some money on Marab last night.
yeah, I didn't. I should have taken the over. I don't know what I was thinking. I
The
should have taken
over
the over.
over was good money.
Yeah,
Some other notables from the card. Third from the top featured fight. Yuri Prohashka should
yeah.
have been fight of the night. It wasn't against Jamal Hill. That was a crazy fight.
Yuri actually has improved. He looked a lot better.
He
Like
did.
his head movement and his combos, they were excellent, man. He really surprised me. He really surprised me. Card was full of
Yeah.
surprises.
Full surprises. Round three KO for Yuri. I was not expecting that. I figured it'd be round one or bust.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. Other
What was with them
major
knee
thoughts.
pads? What was with
Knee
them knee
pads.
pads,
I
man?
thought you thought we were gonna get D1 Jamal.
Yeah.
Um, some other uh big performances, nothing too substantial, nothing. There were some surprises, nothing really affecting like the top of any division. I guess the Almeida win, but that's kind of just, you know, that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Almeida's in the same position. Uh,
There
before
was
we
five
jump into
seconds
matchmaking,
left though. There was like yeah, it was pretty close to the end of the round. I mean,
yeah,
there's a there was a stoppage like that on the last card. I can't think of it right now, but it was like just let it go to the next round at that point.
yeah, yeah. Holding a round one Almeida bet, I was kind of happy they stopped it, but I
Yeah.
could see an argument, for or against.
Yeah. RDR?
Um, RDR, I said he'd make it look easy. He
Yeah.
did. Uh, Alan,
He's
do you
too
need to
focused
see
on
him at
too fo-
middleweight?
uh I think we need as many short notice Holland fights as we can get. Just get him back in there, because he said himself he doesn't care about fighting.
Yeah,
He doesn't train for these. He just shows up to the gym. You know, that's that's his mentality. He just shows up.
yeah.
So
He's making some money. I can't hate him. He has saved some cards.
yeah,
You know, I agree. This one was not short notice. I mean, it was what, a month and a half, so a little more notice. But if it's not short notice, I think he just needs to go back down to welterweight.
yeah,
Um, yeah, that's about it. Not a ton more to talk about here. See, running down the rest of the card. There were a few kind of standouts. The Jaime Barcelos fight. That was
surprising.
a huge surprise. Obviously, plus 700, minus 1200.
I think Talbot still looked okay at moments though. Like the
Yeah,
second round, he was still flowing on the feet. He he got caught after he like threw the flying knee or whatever into a takedown, but
yeah.
like he was looking not bad on the feet. It's just Barcelos out game planned him.
Out game planned, exposed a hole, it seems.
Yeah, for
Had the
sure.
cardio to capitalize.
Which I remember way back when he fought. Was it Nick Aguirre? I think that fight did that go
Yeah,
to a decision, or was like a third round
like a
stoppage maybe?
third round, but Aguirre had his back for a while there,
Yeah,
maybe one round.
I remember saying back then that he might have had some holes, but I completely just abandoned it because he got like a couple good finishes, right? So I completely bought
Yeah,
into it.
yeah, he beat good fighters. Well, good fighter in Cameron Simon, and
Yeah,
I kind of thought, but no, bad night to get posted on Frank Ocean's story, huh?
yeah.
It's
I took
crazy.
the under 1.5 in this fight.
Me too. That
Yeah,
was not that didn't happen.
no, no.
Um, we'll get to some of the other things in our following segments, but first, I want to get your card rating. Overall, in
I'd
post
give it
fight.
I'd give it a 6.5 out of 10. I think
Five.
yeah, I was there was moments where I was kind of it might have been because I was losing money as well, and like my picks might not have been doing good, but like that when I saw Barcelos just taking down Peyton Talbot, I was a little sad. When I
Hmm.
saw first round Billy Elikena just controlling Bogdan Guskov the whole time, not happy about that. Um, Zachary Reese,
Oh my God,
yeah. Uh, what was the Rinya Nakamura as well? You're
that
an
was
Olympic wrestler,
crazy. Yeah,
and you're waiting until you're getting like beat up on the feet to shoot a takedown on it. Like, do something. What are you thinking?
yeah. There was some weird game plans last night. 0-4 went undefeated fighters. Four
Yeah,
undefeated records went out the window. Um, that was crazy. I think I'm gonna give it. You said on a scale of 10, I'm gonna give it like a B.
yeah,
I'm going letter grade. Um, if I had to guess, that'd be like a 7.5 or something on your scale. But it had its moments. The main card was a lot better than the prelims.
yeah,
What would that be? Three finishes, two great fights in the co-main and Prochazka and Hill. Um, and I'm sorry, no, four finishes. Yeah, because you had to hit uh, Almeida, Yuri, and Makhachev.
yeah,
After the Guskov fight, it kind of picked up. A lot more finishes. First few fights were kind of dull.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, mainly, I'm giving it a B just because some of my favorite fighters won. I'm a big Yuri guy. Um, I like RDR. Marab, it was great to see him win. I've been on his train, and financially, that was great to see him win too. Um, so I'm gonna go with a B. I'm gonna go with a B.
I was
And that
heavy
kind
on
of,
Jamal Hill. Yeah,
I always tell you, don't go heavy on Jamal Hill. He just kind
yeah.
of sucks. Although he showed me that he's not completely trash last night.
I mean, yeah, he showed me a bit different. His footwork did not look good. Like he was just kind
No,
of walking around in there.
no.
Um,
I'm wondering if he had an injury, or something, the knee pads, but
yeah, stupid knee
eh.
pads. I don't know. They did not look good at all. It just looked weird. It looked like he was just like a middle-aged man at like the YMCA.
He's just a silly fighter
Yeah,
overall. So jumping next into some matchmaking. I'm gonna have us do the top three fights, and then I'm gonna let you kind of give any fights you like from there on. But who you got for Makhachev next? Kind of a there's no clear next contender, is there?
I think this is a perfect time. Let's do Ilya Taporia Makachev. I think it's the only thing because right now there's no challenger for Makachev at lightweight, right? And I get Taporia could fight. I guess Diego Lopez. Is he Diego Lopez booked up now though? Like there's like no contenders really at 145 now either, except for Volk.
Uh, Movsar. Although
I
I
guess so.
think I've heard rumors of Ilya and Vulcan. Is that Miami? Yeah, 314 in Miami. They're rumors. But I feel like if they do that, they're probably going to do Movsar and Diego too, right?
Yes, yeah,
Um, I don't hate it.
yeah.
I don't need it. I feel like it'd be better in a year, but I don't hate it. It's a good, like, as far as the fight goes, it's probably one of the top five best, stylistic matchups in the UFC.
Taporia Makachev.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Makhachev, Armin would have been another one too, but
I think he needs another fight. They
yeah,
did Charles Oliveira the same treatment, right? So
exactly. I think they're gonna fight, and the winner of that, I'm gonna go. They just announced. We'll get to it in a second, but they just announced Gaethje Hooker.
yeah,
I think the winner of that could get a title shot. Well, unless they're too banged up, I think that could happen while uh, Armin and Charles and who else, Max, maybe Dustin, whoever else finishes their business, and we kind of get a clear next contender. So I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, the Gaethje Hooker winner.
Yep, I like that. I think Dan
Uh,
Hooker would be a good.
Hooker.
Yeah,
I mean, a rematch, but
yeah.
super short notice the first fight.
Yeah, he's looked incredible recently, right?
He has. I kind of think it goes the same way, but I'd like to see it. And
Yep.
Gaethje, obviously, too. That'd be interesting. Coming, Marab, uh, kind of in a weird spot too. He's beaten most of the guys. No,
Yeah,
who's next? Is it a rematch?
I don't think there's a clear winner or a clear opponent right now. I think a couple fights have to happen. They haven't even announced the next opponent for O'Malley, or am I wrong on that?
No, he was in the crowd. I think if Umar won, they were going to do that face off, but
Yeah. Now they got
no,
nothing.
he doesn't have anybody. Obviously, Umar doesn't. Peter Yan doesn't have anybody. Really, the highest ranked booked guy is Cejudo against Song at 7.
Yeah. Maybe Piotr Jan.
Yeah,
It's a weird position. I think they all need another fight though to kind of
yeah,
like maybe a Piotr Jan Sean O'Malley rematch. Winner
that'd be great.
gets a
I'd
title
love that.
shot.
I think they're going to do O'Malley versus Marab too. I don't need it. I
Yeah,
think it goes the same way, but
they're gonna
I
book it
think,
as like, oh, he's prepared this time.
yeah,
He's gonna have his
exactly.
pink shorts.
I wouldn't hate, you know, champ fights are kind of overdone. I wouldn't hate Pantoja moving up. I mean, Pantoja doesn't
I
really have
guess
anybody either.
yeah. There's a lot of divisions that are kind of just stagnant. So yeah,
Yeah,
they would mix things up.
yeah.
They would mix things up. Is he gonna
Uh,
take Pantoja down for 5 rounds?
Kind of think he would, but
Yeah,
that would be a pretty interesting fight. I would be interested in seeing that too.
yeah.
Um, Third from top, Yuri gets a dub. Kind of also in a weird spot. He's
Feed
fought a
him to
lot of these
Pereira
guys.
again. Feed him to Pereira again.
Oh boy. So are you picking Pereira to win then? Early
Yeah, I'm gonna
prediction?
pick Pereira to beat Ankalev. I think
Yeah.
so. Ankalev said he's gonna strike with him, and listen, Ankalev's not that smart of a fighter. He got like beat up by Jan Blachowicz on the feet before he decided to wrestle him, right?
Yeah.
And like he was not looking good on the feet. His leg was
No.
cooked. Those
Yeah.
leg kicks from Alex are gonna do damage to him, and
I'm gonna well, I'm gonna pick Pereira. Got the
oh, it's the
295
arrow
shirt on.
shirt too. That's sick.
Arrow shirt.
Yeah,
I will say if Ankalaev beats Alex and they don't do a rematch or Alex moves up or something, I wouldn't hate Prashka versus Ankalaev as in that kind of the next shot. That being said, I'm picking Pereira. So I think Yuri is going to fight. It's kind of tough to say. I think if Jan Blachowicz beats Carlos Ulberg, they're going to have him fight Jan, but I don't think they'd have him fight Carlos Ulberg if he wins. I think Ulberg will get a title shot. So I guess maybe Khalil Roundtree. That could be a fun fight.
that could be a real fun fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
In hindsight,
Besides,
Khalil would have beat Jamal up.
oh my God, he would have murdered him, done
Mm.
bad things. Besides that, what are there any other fights on the card? Winners, losers,
Um,
main event, anything that interests you in a matchmaking arena?
hmm. Give Zachary Reese a layup, man. The man needs a layup. You know, I I think he
Anthony
got
Smith or
done
something?
dirty. I guess Azamat was a lot better than I expected him to be. Um, I was gonna pick him. I thought he could definitely have beaten Dumas, but I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But give him another like Julian Marquez. Give
Yeah,
him rematch that fight. You know,
I'd watch it again. That'd
yeah.
be a interesting fight. I have two. I kind of want to see what RDR does. I think you could have a lot of fun fights with him, a lot of weird fights. I kind of want to see him. I want to see him fight Michelle Pereira.
Okay.
Uh, I think that'd be like really weird and crazy, and anything would happen. But
Yeah.
why not? You know?
There's a better chance of him getting knocked out by Michelle Pereira. But
Oh
I think
yeah,
RDR would definitely, especially seeing how Fluffy did against
yeah.
Pereira.
I mean, it'd be the same thing as that fight. You know, round one KO or drown him or whatever.
Yeah, or submission.
The other one, only because I picked her as a big dog and she won, not
Perez.
convincingly, but pretty well. Perez, I wouldn't hate like a. Is he called for like a number one contender fight? I wouldn't hate that.
Yeah, I'm.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe like who's Macy Chiasson fighting? Um,
Oh, that would be a not bad one.
Chiasson's fighting. Is it Caitlin Vieira? Yeah, Caitlin Vieira, either the winner of that or maybe like a Norma Dumont to get a title shot. I think,
I don't
they
know if
need
Perez is there yet. Is she? What's her rank now? What was her rank before?
Hossa was 9. She was 13, Hossa was 9, so
Give her like more with Bueno Silva.
she's moving down. She's fighting Jasmine Jasudavicius
Oh,
at flyweight.
interesting.
And Holly Holm's gone too. She might end up being like a 6th or 7th ranked after this.
Oh, it just
I don't
doesn't
know.
sit well with me.
It
Perez getting a
doesn't.
title shot. That's insane.
I think one more, a big win, and she's there. It's also just such a
Yeah,
skinny division.
nothing else is going on, right? So
Yeah. Alrighty. Next up, biggest winners and losers. Who from the entire card could be somebody who fought, could be somebody who didn't fight, could be somebody completely unrelated to the card. Who's your biggest winner and who's your biggest loser from last night?
I've got three written down for each. Uh,
Ooh, let's hear it.
so my three worst. Rinya Nakamura.
Yeah.
Muin Gafarov was the fraud check, and like it just doesn't make sense. I guess we should have seen this coming. He was not that dominant against Carlos Vera,
No.
and people chalked it up like people get to claim an injury when they don't have a dominant performance, and then people keep riding the train until they lose. So it was a bad situation there, but I think he definitely got some holes in his game he needs to improve upon.
Yeah.
Zachary Reese. I hate to say it, but
Your boy.
I hate to say it, man. You're gonna have to do a bit more than throwing up arm bars and
Yeah.
accept. Like he could have gotten up off the ground a couple times too, but he decided to keep
Play guard. Yeah.
Jamal Hill as well. I did not like his performance. I picked him to win. I thought he was
Yeah.
gonna get it done dominantly. I thought first round he was gonna pull back and 1-2, massive overhand.
Mhm.
It was actually Yuri that was gonna do that.
Yeah.
Yuri battered him.
Ugh,
Yuri's one of my
close.
best performances as well.
Yeah.
Thought he did
Yeah.
really good.
Oh, let's jump in. Who are your Yuri? We'll start off with that.
Yeah, Yuri's my best. One of my best. RDR thought he looked really
Okay.
good. A lot of people thought Kevin Holland was going to give him a lot of issues and just effortlessly exposed him as it
Hmm.
should have went. Makhachev, he's on another planet. He's on
Yeah.
another planet than like these other guys. There's a few people in the division who can compete with him, like
Hmm.
full camp, but maybe Armin, but we'll never know now.
Yeah. Funny enough, Islam's on both my winner and loser lists.
Yep,
I mean, winner, he got a dub. He got paid, what do you think, $1 million? Something like that.
probably
Um,
two.
yeah, a ton of money. He got he tied the record, right, for most title, or did he break it? This would have
He broke
been
it. It
he
was
broke it
fifth
4
consecutive.
fights. That being said, that's you can poke a lot of holes, and people will.
Yeah,
Which
short
is why I
notice.
think he's kind of a loser, if that makes sense. You know, if he had beaten Arman Tsarukyan last night, even dominantly, or dominantly or not, I think he could have made a very good shot to be like the best lightweight of all time. Um, and now I don't think he can. I
Yeah,
don't
now
think
there's all
so.
these asterisks. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, he went on this run, but short notice. Volk
yeah.
was not in the right headspace. There was Renato Moicano, who was not
Days
training for
notice.
Makhachev and not on the same level.
Yeah.
And it's,
Old old Dustin too.
yep,
Old.
yep.
Um, Obviously, Arman Tsarukyan is on my loser list. He has to fight again,
Oh,
maybe
yeah,
even twice. Um, and it's a long road back. He has to fight a killer next,
yeah.
or Michael Chandler. Um, and then I don't want to just like Nakamura, Peyton Talbot, you name it. Yes, it's like
I think Talbot looked good, though, with his
he
loss.
looked good. He looked good, but these are prospect losses. It's gonna happen. These guys didn't lose that much. Maybe Nakamura a bit more, but like they'll be back.
Yeah.
These are not their last fights in the UFC. Um, I kind of think I hate to say it, I kind of think one of the bigger losers was Cyril Gane. I think they're gonna make him fight Almeida next instead
Okay.
of like maybe a title shot or interim title shot, whatever you want to call it.
I mean, to be fair, he made his bed.
Yeah.
He didn't want to fight Tom Aspinall when before he was champion. It was that Paris
Yeah.
card right before, like, John Jones.
Yeah, September or something.
Yeah, it was. That's when they were supposed to fight, right? But
Yeah.
Gon turned it down. It
Yeah, and
was too
then
scary.
BSD stepped in to fight. Yeah, he what is it? He had to fight, shoot a movie or something.
Yeah, but I remember
Uh,
on Ariel Helwani, he asked him, and he was like, "Oh, so he's a scary opponent." Like, and that was his response, and it's like, "Oh, yeah,
yeah. Yep. I think he's a loser. But yeah. Last but not least, week ahead in MMA. Big Will be back, and we might have a special guest. I don't want to say anything, but there's an awful lot of prospects on this upcoming week of events. Might be
who's
getting a
good next
special guest
card?"
for Wednesday. Next card is in 2 weeks for the UFC. UFC Saudi Arabia. Israel Adesanya coming back against Nasruddin Imavov, Shar Bullet versus MVP. Few good fights, but we'll talk about that next week.
Lots of
Preview
time.
it. This week, no UFC, but we have plenty of MMA and more and more. Plenty. I'm gonna read through a few. Not a few. There's a lot of cards this week, a lot of fights, and I want to get your thoughts on the week ahead after that. Um, so we have BFL, a few Canadian cards this week. BFL, FFC down out of Peru. They have Ignacio Bahamondes, younger brother, fighting. I don't think it's for a title, but you know he's a prospect. It's gonna be a good fight. Inoue is boxing, a South Korean boxer who he's gonna destroy at 5 in the morning US.
Oh yeah,
Karate Combat is back. And the return of Robelis de Spain
already. Wow. I guess
in
his
Karate
last one took
Combat.
no damage, right?
No damage. Also on the card is Eileen Pereira, Alex
Oh yeah.
Pereira's younger sister. A few other, names. Efrain Escudero, shout out, former UFC fighter. One championship has a card. No Friday fights this week, but they have a card Friday morning, so it might as well be Friday fights. Some pretty good fights. Tawan Chai versus Superman. Superlek versus Nico Carrillo. Seskan's fighting. Fabricio de Andrade is fighting. Smoking Joe. Marcel Garcia is fighting grappling Imanari, so that'll be a good one. Unified MMA, your other Canadian card of the week, TJ Laramie, Mohamed Ado, some good fights there. KSW on Saturday. Let's see what else. PFL is back with their big card, Nurmagomedov versus Hughes
Oh
on
yeah.
Saturday in Saudi Arabia. A few more fun fights there. Cage Titans. I will personally be at this Cage Titans 69 card on Saturday in Plymouth, Massachusetts, as well as some friends and fellow MMA media accounts. Um, BKFC Bare Knuckle Mania is Saturday. Eddie Alvarez versus Jeremy Stevens. Ben Rothwell getting his title shot. A few other fights there. And then to kind of round things off, LFA has their landmark 200th event. Three title fights, prospects stacked around all around. You name it. So it's a pretty busy week in combat sports. Are there any specific fights or fighters or cards that you are looking forward to this week?
I'd watch out for Rebellis to Spain and Pereira. Eileen
Yeah,
Pereira, that's her name.
yeah,
And Usman Nurmagomedov, that would be one
yep.
to look out to. Like, see how he competes after his big brother or little
Oh,
brother.
the I thought you were going to talk about the steroids, but yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no, he's fought since then, hasn't he? Since
Did
because he got
he?
stripped for a year, I think. Is this
Oh,
his
yeah.
return?
He fought. He fought Chablis, Alexander Chablis. Okay, I'm mistaken then. Ignore my. I mean, he did have a steroid suspension, but he has
Is
gotten
he
away
back
since.
champion now? Then was that a championship fight?
I don't think they ever stripped. That's the
Really?
funny thing. Yeah,
Really?
I mean, who knows? Because this is PFL now, and that was Bellator. But I'm gonna see if I can get some clarity on that before Big Will be back breaking down. I'll go a lot more into depth on Wednesday's podcast with Will, but um, it'll be interesting to see how they handle the belt situation.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's a week ahead. Keep an eye out for another Sparring Sessions podcast, breaking down the fights a little more in depth and an interview. I don't want to name any names before we have anybody official, but this is going to be a pretty big one if we can get this worked out. So that'll be fun. Jeannie, thanks again for coming on. I know you did in the breaking news pod, but please plug whatever social medias you have.
UFC Genie on TikTok. They brought it back already. We got it. We got it, boys. We're keeping that going. So UFC Genie on TikTok, YouTube UFC Genie, Instagram, the UFC Genie on Instagram. So
Hmm.
there's all those. Be doing UFC Saudi Arabia picks a little earlier just because there's a week break, so I can get those
Sure.
done a little earlier and go through Imavov, Adesanya. That'll be a good fight. So
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot to look forward to.
Awesome. Thanks so much for coming on again.
No problem.
And yeah, we will see you all on Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in.
Have a good one.